G'day. I want to show you my favorite hammer. Now, over the years, I've bought a lot of Fretz hammers because they're lovely tools. But I never found one exactly like I wanted. So what I did was I took two of his hammers and cut them apart, welded them back together, and made the hammer. The reason I couldn't find what I wanted is in the beginning, making jewelry, I stumbled upon this French-style jeweler's hammer, which is slightly bigger than most of the French-style hammers. I've tried to duplicate it in the past. I couldn't find one that I could buy. 99% of the time, with all of the hammers I have, this is the one I pick up. So I thought, well, if I could have that in a Fretz hammer, it'd be great. So what I did was I got all my hammers out and I just kind of laid them together, and I thought, okay, if I use the front of that one and the back of that one, I can make what I want. So what I did was silversmith's hammers, which are the larger ones. I took a planishing hammer, which is flat on one side and slightly rounded on the other. And then I took a raising hammer, the narrow one. This is what a raising hammer looks like here. I cut the two of them apart and welded them back together. And I used the narrow end of the raising hammer and the rounded end of the planishing hammer. Then I ground this end off to match this. So you can see that it's the same curve, the same length. The head is slightly bigger, and the back I use for texturing rather than raising. So it's not quite a point, but it's only about 1.5 millimeters wide. So a nice, fairly sharp angle. So now I have my favorite hammer in the quality that I like. I think if you bother Mr. Fretz enough, he might make you one of these. They're really handy, and for me it was kind of a double thing, because I ended up with a flat planishing hammer with a larger raising hammer at the end. So I may not use it very much, but it's quite pretty and it's useful. So there you go, my absolutely favorite hammer. A large-scale, French-style jeweler's hammer. Beauty. Now, the reason that I did this, I guess some would call it a travesty, redoing the hammer. I was originally an aircraft apprentice mechanic, and then a Porsche mechanic. We always had quality tools, but they usually weren't quite right for the job. So we would always modify them to do what we needed to do. And it made the tool better, and it actually made it a more worthwhile thing. Now, with this particular hammer, I had an engineering shop, because my workshop isn't good enough. I had them slice the heads in the middle, and then they repositioned the front of one, the back of another one, welded it up, ground it off, and then I put it back on the handle. So the hole would be slightly smaller, but it doesn't take much to take the handle down so it fits correctly, and then you put the wedge back in. So it's not an easy job, but I think it's a worthwhile job. Ciao.